Hello, Iris J here with Madrona's Pulse Teachings, Astrology for Healing. I'm trying to get this in with the last bit of light out there, but I don't know how far we're going to make it, but we'll work with it. And I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. We are chatting about the first new moon of 2024, and it is a pretty significant new moon. I have to say, when I sit with this chart, I feel into a lot. So I want to share that with you. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back. It's nice to see you again. I hope that the entrance through this threshold of 2023 into 2024 has gone relatively smoothly for all of you. I'm making this before the actual turn of the new year, so who knows what's happened since I made this video, but I really would like to open up these energies because it's a significant new moon. So new moon in Capricorn, right around the 20-degree point of Capricorn. So if you work with your astrology chart as this practice of self-inquiry and co-creative ways of being that astrology is, you want to have a look at where 20 degrees of Capricorn falls into your chart. You can also totally just listen and take what you take. You don't need to work with your chart. And a new moon, sun and moon are together there at around 20 degrees of Capricorn. A new moon is traditionally a time of setting intentions, planting seeds for ourselves, for our, whatever sign we're working with. This is Capricorn. This is the sign of boundaries. It's an earth sign. This is literally, yes, it's boundaries of what we need for ourselves in relationship. It's really the boundaries between our sense of reality, about how we construct reality. And let's go ahead right now and say those boundaries are changing. They're changing because 9 days after this new moon, Pluto, who's in the last degree of Capricorn right now, shifts into Aquarius. So we start 2024 off with a massive shift of changing boundaries of reality, continuing on to begin the shift of how we define reality collectively and individually. I have a video on the most recent shifts with Pluto, that's below. But the fact that that is happening after we have a new moon in Capricorn, who is squaring the nodes? Okay, so this new moon, the sun and the moon are squaring. They're in a pretty exact square with the nodes of the moon. I do work with the true nodes. This can be getting into a little bit more intermediate to advanced astrology. There's different ways of calculating the nodes because the nodes are not objects. They're points where the moon and the sun's path intercepts. And that point is constantly shifting, so we can work with it where it is in that moment. The truer, we can take the mean. Different astrologers have different approaches. I work with the true node. More often than not, evolutionary astrology tends to work with the true node, but I know a lot of evolutionary astrologers that work with the mean. And that said, the node is squaring the sun and the moon, our new moon. So this is really significant. This is a powerful new moon. It's a powerful new moon to come into 2024 with. If you have points at 20 degrees of Aries and Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, they are getting this. They're getting a zing. And again, boundaries could be shifting that are redefining our understanding of reality. Capricorn energy is about how we organize society. It's about how we create a collective sense of reality so that we can live together. And part of the greater journey of Pluto going through Capricorn has been to show us how humans have failed at creating social systems that support us all in an equal and just way. And this is kind of aligned with the shift of Pluto into Aquarius, is how we can organize society in a way that really benefits the collective. And this new moon might be bringing us into ways in our own life, how we're seeing the way that we need our boundaries and our self-identification with the collective, with societal ways of making meaning, from what we consider success to what we consider the purpose of life to what we consider a healthy relationship with our body. These boundaries might be shifting. All of those things could be themes of of 2024 New Year's intentions, right? But and you might think about, you know, if you're someone that kind of works with intentions, I think listening and thinking about this new moon energy is really important, so that instead of kind of making intentions about what we think we're supposed to be doing, or a healthy person should look like this, or a healthy life should look like this, what do we need, right? We're going to have some significant transits this year. We're going to have Chiron and Aries conjunct the North Node, which is going to be all about what we need as this individual primal sacred Aries self. What do we need to shift and become intentional about in order for us to live in a more aligned way? But what does that word aligned mean? Aligned to our higher soul's purpose, aligned to the collective, co-creative, interconnected web that we are all part of, not necessarily aligned to outdated modes of success or whatever words we want to use there. That an old paradigm of Capricorn that was really Capricorn in shadow society, and that ties into patriarchy and colonialism and capitalism. You know, this energy of a new moon starting the new year off as we square the nodes could really be inviting us to break through probably ideas and embodied realities that we've been working with for a while, that we've been trying to break through for a while. And again, I am going to tie this into a previous eclipse we had in 2023. And I do think some of those themes that came up in April with the solar eclipse in 2023 are going to be coming up with this new moon because of points that are being activated. And so we're probably coming into imagining, and we can be really intentional about imagining a new way, a new rhythm of life. Capricorn is a rhythm of life. It is a sacred rhythm. Capricorn is a yin energy. It is earth wisdom. It is an intuitive, connective sense with the earth and the wisdom of the earth. And just as that earth energy is coming up, we also have Jupiter who's at 5 degrees Taurus, who has just gone direct, and there is this emergence of that Taurus energy that's also earth wisdom and earth body consciousness coming through, which is also activated during this new moon. So more simple aspects are that this new moon that's at around 20 degrees of Capricorn, it is trine Uranus and Taurus, more earth energy, and it is sextile Pallas Athena in Scorpio. So really inviting a deep wisdom and alchemical wisdom from that Pallas in Scorpio. She is so wise, and she understands that Pallas and Athena in Scorpio understands the mysteries. She is the alchemical witch or alchemical master that can strategize based on unseen ways of knowing, and that energy is here supporting us as we come into a somewhat potentially radical shift in our reality. Also, we have Uranus, the radical shift maker, the radical awakener, who's in Taurus, trining this new moon, who's really supporting us to awaken. And we have the new moon squaring the nodes. Okay, so the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra, new moons, whenever we have the nodes in play, there is destiny making, there is a release of karma, there is a claiming of something that our soul is here to claim. That is going to have to do with claiming that sacred Aries self. Chiron is also in play. It's a wider, what we call an orb, in terms of how close Chiron is to that node. But Chiron is definitely also square this new moon. And then Chiron and the North Node are going to have their conjunction in February of 2024. So we're kind of planting seeds around what is that sacred Aries healing self. What part of our Aries, Aries is our instincts. It's our spirit. It's our courageous leader. It often gets silenced. We get told not to trust it. We get told that we're rash. We get told that we're impulsive. Can Aries be those things? Of course it can be those things. But Aries itself is not rash. Aries is primal fires that we need in order to accomplish what we want to accomplish, in order to help start our dreams in this life. And that North Node in Aries and Chiron there, they're wanting to heal. They're coming together to heal and transform. They're also going to be together during an eclipse this coming 2024. And they're here now in this first new moon. That energy is here as we're planting seeds about intentions of really rebuilding our realities so that we can let go some of our karmic Libra stuff, that South Node that keeps us from being an authentic one-on-one relationship because of fear, because of thinking that we have to be a people pleaser, because of trying to keep a status quo, because we might be afraid of letting that Aries out and being seen in a one-on-one relationship. So letting some of that karmic things go and really embracing realities that can be in tune with our Aries primal fires. And I mentioned this, and I think it's important to go over. So a lot of these degree points are pulling up threads from an eclipse that we had in 2023. So this was April 20th. We had a solar eclipse. So that eclipse was an Aries eclipse. That was at 29 degrees of Aries, okay? So the reason I say some of these themes could come up is that we had an eclipse there where Pluto was square the nodes. And at that time, Pluto was at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and it was square the nodes, which were at between 4 and 5 degrees of Taurus. And so now we have Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, which is in a direct square to where that eclipse point was. And we have Jupiter, who's been at 5 degrees of Taurus for quite a while. That was an eclipse point of the October 28th lunar eclipse, which is then also pulling up where the nodes were at the April eclipse. So it's kind of like we have these eclipse energies being pulled, these threads pulled through, so we can really think about what came up during the eclipse seasons of the previous year, and how might, as we move into 2024, this kind of restructuring of reality be supporting us to manifest these new realities that we're creating from some of the themes that came up. Again, Aries themes, end of Capricorn themes, Taurus Earth themes. There's a lot of, especially in 2024, we're entering into a lot of actual manifestation. We're working with a lot of Taurus energy this year. We're coming in as we're finishing up the Pluto breakdown of Capricorn and shifting into new forms. And there's expansion. And so this new moon in Capricorn could potentially be allowing us to kind of weave some of those previous threads together in the new form, in opportunities, experiences, wisdom that was simply not present last year, whether that was 3 months ago or whether that was 7 months ago. It definitely wasn't present 10 years ago. It's new. Something new is emerging, and this is felt as Pluto is shifting into Aquarius, which is opening up new paradigms of humans being social beings and our own individual journeys within those paradigms. So these are some of the themes that we can be thinking about and working with intentionally as we enter and move into this momentum that's going to carry us forward in 2024. One other piece to mention, because there's always more layers, is that this is a new moon in Capricorn. So we always want to check in with the planet associated with Capricorn, which is Saturn. And Saturn is in Pisces. And it is in a sextile with Mars, who is at 5 degrees of Capricorn. So that's quite lovely. And what do you know? That Mars is also trining Jupiter, that Jupiter at 5 degrees of Taurus. And so there is this nice connection between that Saturn, who is moving through Pisces and bringing new boundaries, potentially radical new boundaries to our spiritual lives, and creating new manifestations of what it means to be a spiritual being in society, in this human plane. And that Saturn is sextiling that Mars, who's bringing a drive through Capricorn, through this energy of manifesting new boundaries, of the realities that we are really being called to create for ourselves. They're important. They're important not just to our own fulfillment and self-care and self-love. They're important to the collective. These new paradigms are so important, and they come from us choosing the lives that are right for us, the lives that are aligned, the lives that our souls are just singing yes, yes, and these multidimensional melodies that we can kind of hear in embodied realms when we're coming into alignment. And this is also part of the new paradigm of Pluto coming into Aquarius, and the way that individuals living the paradigm change is how the actual paradigm change happens, not from major corporations, not from one person with a heck of a lot of power, but from all of us living these beautiful lives where beauty encapsulates the whole thing, right? And these different types of experiences that we can come into, and we can really, with this new moon, be carried forth, and just paying attention to what's coming up for yourself. What is your soul song singing right now, and working with that as you plant some seeds for 2024. And with that, I am going to leave you with New Year blessings, and I'll see you soon. Take care.